Everybody, welcome to the 2006 TBL playoffs. We have a matchup here between Chuck and the Louisville Rivermen and Matt and the Galveston Gremlins. Both teams have had really impressive playoff runs here. And we're going to have a new TBL champion at the end of the season. So pretty excited to get underway here. Here again with Chris. And we're going to be calling the first four games here, at least of the series, and then we'll see what happens from there. So, all right. Good luck to our managers, and we'll take a look at the matchups. So this season, it looks like these teams have only played three times. This is interleague after all, and Louisville did win that series 2-1. But it should be a pretty interesting matchup. Someone in the chat said it's offense versus defense, and I kind of agree with that. I guess the Louisville Rivermen offense has been bludgeoning the ball, but really the Galveston offense has been pretty good too, and their pitching. So it's going to be an interesting series. I think you pointed out, Chris, that this is going to be a matchup of a 6-1 road team versus a 7-1 home team. So it's going to be who breaks the dam first kind of thing.
Be an interesting game, interesting series.
Yeah, in Galveston, I mean, they had the better regular season with 104 wins. Of course, that was second only to Las Vegas in the regular season, and they've been really great here in the postseason. Louisville, again, just third in the division. Wild card team snuck in as the actually top wild card, but then has been on a tear here in the playoffs, just unstoppable. And really great road team, and they find themselves on the road again here as they're going to go to Galveston. So we'll see what happens. Looks like the game one matchup, if that's accurate, it's going to be Adame versus Rodriguez, and both those pitchers have pitched pretty well here in the postseason, I feel like. So, all right, I'm ready. Let's get this thing underway.
Make sure I got those volumes down. There we go. We're good to go there. All right, we're going to start her on up.
So Jesse Davies is going to lead things off against Edwin Rodriguez, and Rodriguez here in the playoffs has pretty good numbers. Has struggled 2-1 with a 7.11 ERA. So we'll see if he can right things as the Gremlins find themselves in the championship game here.
All right, we're going to start things off.
Davies leads things off with a fly to center field, one down. Pacheco up to bat. And that's going to be a fly ball to the center fielder, two down. Next up, it's going to be Juan Santiago. And he hits it deep to right field, but it's going to be caught. So 3 fly balls, 3 outs, 1, 2, 3, go the Rivermen, and up comes the Gremlins. Rob Squires leading things off against Jordan Adame, who's 3-0 this postseason.
The ground out to short.
Mike Anderson up at the plate. He's going to hit it to right field. It's going to drop in for a hit. First hit of the game for either team. And it belongs to the Gremlins. 1 on, 1 out. Next up, Isaac Winfield. Winfield's going to dribble it to the shortstop, and that's going to be a double play. So quick 3 up, 3 down, and that's 0-0 after 1. Next up for the Rivermen, Sung Hyun Park, leading it off against Rodriguez. It's going to ground to second, and 1 down. Danny Marshburn up next.
I called him Mashburn earlier as well.
Marshburn strikes out, 2 down.
He was mashing the ball last series, so.
Dan Davis up to hit. Yeah, it all depends on how well I can read the tiny writing on the screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Base hit for Dan Davis. 2-out hit. Let's see if Louisville can keep a rally going. Jared Gilbert coming to the plate, the 7-hitter. And he grounds out, so after 1.5, 0-0, going to the bottom second. Jeff Brown leading things off for the Gremlins. One down, pops up in the foul territory. Next up, we have
Jason
Gartz.
Takes ball 4. Jim Wyatt.
Hits it into the gap. It's going to be extra bases.
Somebody going to score? Looks like it.
Comes Gartz. 1-0. 1-0 Gremlins on the Wyatt double. Russell Stanley up, hitting .082 in this postseason, trying to get something going here. He's going to drop one, but the center fielder's there. 2 down for Juan Juarez.
Is that a sacrifice? No, it wasn't.
It looks like he tried to bunt for a hit, or maybe he just missed. But either way, he's retired. So after 2, Galveston gets 1. 1-0 Galveston.
Victor Nito. It's going to drop. It is. Got a lead-off single.
Bring up Nate Elliott, the 9-hitter.
That 30 contact. Ooh, sacrifice. That's a sacrifice.
Yeah, good one. So on to second goes the runner. It's going to bring up Jesse Davis, top of the order for the Rivermen. How about the shortstop? The runner's not going to be able to advance, so 2 down. Juan Pacheco up to bat.
Down go the Rivermen.
So on to the bottom of the third we go. 1-0 Galveston. Solorzano lead things off for the Gremlins here. He's going to hit it to the center fielder, but he's there, so 1 down. First pitch swinging on that one. Rob Squires up. Base hit through the right field side, so 1 on, 1 out for the Gremlins. It's going to bring up the 2-hitter. Mike Anderson, 1 for 1. It's going to hit to the shortstop, but they can only get 1. Force out at the second base, so 2 down now for Isaac Winfield. And that retires the side after 3. Galveston 1, Louisville nothing. Juan Santiago leading things off for the Rivermen. Strike 3 swinging, so Rodriguez gets a strikeout there, second strikeout of the game. Brings up the Korean Kong Park. And he takes ball 4 in a full count, so runner on with 1 out for the Rivermen. Next up we have Danny Marshburn. Marshburn's going to take strike 3 looking, so 2 down. Third strikeout for Rodriguez. Dan Davis at the plate. He takes the 1-1 pitch to center field, but the center fielder's there. That's going to retire the side. After 3.5, Galveston 1, Louisville nothing. Jeff Brown leading things off for the Gremlins in the bottom of the fourth. Grounds out to the second baseman. Next up, Jason Gartz. Gartz is going to hit it to the center fielder, but it's going to drop. It's a base hit, so 1 on, 1 out for the Gremlins here in the bottom of the fourth. Going to bring up Jim Wyant, who already has a double and an RBI this game. He hits it to the left fielder. It's going to drop, so second hit of the game for Jim Wyant, and first and second now with 1 out. Russell Stanley up at the plate. Let's see if he can get a hit here in a big situation. Dame needs it out. It's going to be to center field, and runners can't advance. So 2 down now for Juan Juarez. Juarez checks his swing, but he's going to take ball 4. So that's going to load the bases for the number 9 hitter here in the Galveston lineup. Domingo Solorzano, the catcher. Going to hit center field. The center fielder is there, though, so the Gremlins leave the bases loaded. Louisville gets out of the jam. We're going to the top of the 5th here. 1-0 Galveston. Jared Gilbert leading things off for the Rivermen here. He's going to take strike 3 looking. 4th strikeout of the game for Rodriguez. That brings up Victor Nieto. Nieto gets hit by that pitch, so he's going to head down to first base. Seems to be in some pain. Hopefully he's okay. It looks like he's going to be pinch run for, so we'll have to check that out after the game here. Next up is Nate Elliott. Elliott grounds to second, and that's going to be a double play, so that's the end of the inning. After 4.5, 1-0 Galveston. So we have a pitcher's duel going on right now. Dan Dark leading things off. Dan Dark a pinch hit. I think he was a pinch hitter.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Or a defensive change.
Next up is Mike Anderson. 1 for 2 on the day. He's been on fire lately. He's going to ground out to the pitcher, though, just a weak roller. So 2 down. We've got Isaac Winfield. Adame only had 60 pitches so far here in the 5th, pitching really beautifully. And that's going to be into the gap. Winfield's going to get extra bases here. He's pretty fast. Let's see if he's up for 2. He is, a double.
Stand-up double.
So with 2 out, there's a man on second for Jeff Brown, the cleanup hitter. Brown delivers. That's going to drop in. Let's see the throw home. Not in time, so Galveston adds another run here, so they extend the lead 2-0 here, bottom of the 5th. Next up, Jason Gartz, 1 for 1 on the game. Jeff Brown takes off. He's there in time, so he steals second. Gartz now has a runner in scoring position, so fly ball to center field, though. That's going to retire the side. After 5, Galveston 2, Louisville nothing. Jesse Davies, the leadoff hitter, is going to lead things off, top of the order. Weak grounder to the third baseman, and Davies is going to beat it out, so that's an infield hit for Davies. Next up, Juan Pacheco here. Pacheco going to watch strike 3. First, 5th strikeout, for Rodriguez. Dustin Lutzen, pinch hitting. He's going to ground into the shortstop and hit into a double play. So that pinch hitter did not do a very good job. And on to the bottom of the sixth we go. Galveston leading 2-0. Jim Wine up against Franklin Gonzalez, a new pitcher here for the Rivermen. Deep fly ball, first batter that he faces, and that's gone. Jim Wyatt having a great game, third hit of the game, and that's a solo homer to the left field bleachers. 3-0 Galveston. Next up, we have Russ Stanley. Stanley's going to hit that to the left fielder. One down. Juan Juarez up to plate. He's going to hit it in the gap. This is going to be extra bases. A 1-out double for Juan Juarez. That's going to bring up Solorzano with an opportunity for an RBI. Two down on the fly ball to center field. Next up, Dan Dark. And he crushes it to right field. That's going to drive in a run. On his way to second. A 2-out double for Dan Dark. So now Galveston has a 4-0 lead here in the bottom of the sixth for Mike Anderson. And that is in the gap. So that's going to score another run. Mike Anderson's going to get at least a double out of this. And pitching change finally here for the Rivermen, as that other reliever did not come in and do a very good job here. Chris Williams into the game. Let's see if he can stop this bleeding at 5. Isaac Winfield at the plate. And it's going to be a fly ball to the center fielder. That's going to end the inning, but not before Galveston puts a 3 on the board. So they lead 5-0 as we head to the top of the 7th. Park leading things off against Edwin Rodriguez. Park rounds out to third, 1 down for the Rivermen. Rodriguez at 87 pitches now as he delivers to Danny Marshburn. Marshburn hits it to the center fielder, but he's there, 2 down. Dan Davis at the plate. He's going to ground it to the first baseman. He steps on the bag, and 1, 2, 3 go the Rivermen in the 7th. After 6.5, 5-0 Galveston. Jeff Brown leading things off.
Chris Williams is still in. No, that's a different pitcher.
Single by Jeff Brown, so leadoff for the Gremlins. He's been all over the base paths this game. Jason Gart's up next. That's going to be a wild pitch. Now in a second goes Jeff Brown.
Get a balk?
And a balk. Puts Jeff Brown on third, so maybe some nerves out there for Chris Williams on the mound. Ball 4, 3-1 pitch. The first and third now for Jim Wyatt, who's already 3 for 3 on this game.
His last at bat, he had a solo homer.
going to fly out, but that's going to be deep enough to score the run. So 6-0 Galveston. Jim Wyatt drives in another. Bringing up Russell Stanley. 5 for 64 in the playoffs. Big time slump. He's going to take ball 4, so he gets on base. One down now. Still for Juan Juarez here. Chris Williams trying to get out of this jam here. He's going to walk, so Chris Williams not looking good. Next up, Solorzano. And that's another walk. So my goodness. Time to pull a manager. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Dan Dark at the plate. Bases loaded. He's going to get the out at home. Throws to first, but he's safe. So he gets the force runner. Saves a run. Bases are still going to be loaded here for Mike Anderson. 2 for 4 in the game. He's going to ground out to the shortstop. So that is going to end the inning. Galveston adds 2 more, and they lead 7-0 after 7. On to the top of the 8th we go. Jared Gilbert leading things off for against Edwin Rodriguez, who's still in there pitching a beautiful game right now. Ground out to the third baseman, 1 down. Two down. Next up, Elliott. He's going to strike out, so Edwin Rodriguez in complete control. 6 strikeout of the game. Only 3 hits allowed through 8. On to the bottom of the 8th we go for the Gremlins. Isaac Winfield at the plate against Mario Davila. He's going to fly down the left field line, but the left fielder's there, so 1 down. Next up is Jeff Brown. Jeff Brown grounds out to second base. 2 down. Jason Gartz. Gartz is going to get a base hit up the center field. Jim Wyatt now at the plate. Jim Wyatt hits it to the right fielder. He's out. That retires the side. So after 8, we've got a 7-0 lead by the Gremlins. Only 3 outs remaining here for the Rivermen in game 1. Jesse Davies 1 for 3. He's going to get a second hit of the game as he hits it up the center field gap. Leadoff runner for the Rivermen. Next up is Juan Pacheco. All 4, so 2 on, nobody out here. Mike Lynn's going to come in to pitch hit for the Rivermen. He strikes out swinging, so 1 down. The number 4 hitter, Park, up to the plate. He hits it to center field. That's going to drop. That's going to score a run for the Rivermen. So they are on the board here late in the 9th. Oh, actually, it looks like he held. I guess that makes sense. So smart. So bases loaded, 1 out for Danny Marshburn. Let's see if he can do some damage. 2-2 count. And he strikes out. So that's going to be the second out. Now we have Dan Davis, 1 for 3 on the day. He's in against Isaiah Alexander, and Alexander strikes him out, so that's going to be it for game 1. The Gremlins take it at home 7-0. A really beautiful pitching performance here by Edwin Rodriguez. Isaiah Alexander came in and closed the door, and the Gremlins roll on for the victory.
Almost complete game.
He did take it into the 9th, yeah, so he had 1 out in the 9th. All right, I got to step away quickly for game 2. We'll see what the matchups are, though, real quick. Looks like Brendan Geary's going against Neil Hunt. Geary had a really nice performance in the championship series. And Neil Hunt's been solid throughout this postseason as well. I know he's had a couple of good outings. Let's take a look at those injuries from last game and see what happened.
I don't think I can I? Or
I think you can. Nieto got injured. You can just scroll over him right here, probably.
Nieto? Oh, yeah. Bruised ankle. And Rob Squires has a bruised knee. 2 days and 3 days.
All right. So, yeah, nothing too serious, fortunately. So, if those managers want to, they can make adjustments after game 4. If it's not over by then.
All right. Well, let's get this game rolling.
All right. I'll be back.
We got Jesse Davies leading things off. We got Neil Hunt pitching. Oh, drives one into the right field, but the right fielder makes a hell of a grab. Next up, Pacheco. Drives it up the middle. Getting a single here in the first. To bat, Santiago. Drives one to center field, and nobody advances. Park. That looked like a hit and run situation. Squires. Did he attempt a bunt? He attempted a bunt, then he drives one out in the middle of center field for a double. For 7 doubles in the postseason this year. Mike Anderson. Dribbles one to the pitcher. And he is out. Winfield pops up to center. Brings up Jeff Brown. Takes ball 4. Next up, Jason Gartz. Pops out to center. It's going to end the first inning. Brings up Danny Marshburn to lead things off. Hits a line right past first baseman. Leads off with a single. Next up is Dan Davis. Looks like he's sacrificing, bringing him up to second for the first out. Jared Gilbert up. Applies the center fielder. Next up, Victor Nido. And he strikes out looking. Galveston gets out of that one. Bringing up Jim Wyant. Takes ball 4 on a wild pitch, it looks like. Russell Stanley. Grounds to the third baseman, and it looks like they're going to turn the double play. Looks like strike 3. Brings us to the top of the third. Nate Elliott up to plate. Dribble it up to the pitcher. And he's out. Davies. Strikes out on a changeup. That's what it says. Juan Pacheco. Looks like it's a shallow center for the out. Brings us to the bottom of the third. With a dive and a catch. Look at that. Davies with a catch. Brings up Rob Squires. Drops one down in center for a 1-out single. Anderson. Man, Davies is out there making some web gems. Looked like he caught that one behind the back. Bringing up Isaac Winfield. Well, Davies is running off the field proud on that one. Juan Santiago's up for Louisville. It's going to drop for a leadoff single. Park is up. Marshburn. Strikes out. Dan Davis. Go for the steal. And he's safe. Strikes out. Jeff Brown is up. Strikes out swinging. Jason Gartz. Pops out to the third baseman. Wyant. Lines went out to right field. No flashy catches from Davies on that one. Brings up Russell Stanley. For the out. Jared Gilbert's up. Ooh, bobbles it. Reaches on an air. Victor Nito. Bunt out of play. And now he walks. Brings up Nate Elliott. He drops the bunt. Sacrifices, sends the guy up. Advances the runners in the scoring position for Jesse Davies. Pops it up. Is a runner going to score? And Louisville scores with a, I forget who scored, but somebody scored. Bringing up Juan Pacheco. Grounds out to the third baseman. The damage has been done for Louisville, scoring one off a sac. Sac fly. Next up for Galveston is Juan Juarez. He strikes out. Domingo. Drops one out to center fielder for a double. Rob Squires. Beamed him. Looks like Rob Squires is injured on that play. The trainers are going to examine his right knee. Looks like he's staying in the game. Bringing up Mike Anderson. And he grounds out into a double play. Next up to the plate is Juan Santiago for the Louisville Rivermen. Kind of weird that it showed a foul ball. Is it going to be gone? It is. Park with a solo homer. Extending the lead 2-0 for Louisville. Next up is Danny Marshburn. He's going to take ball 4. Dan Davis takes ball 4 as well. Next up is Jared Gilbert. He's reaching out, and they get him out at first, but he advances the runners to second and third. Nito's up. Takes ball 4. We have a relief pitcher coming in. We got Gary Liller. Got a 4.32 ERA on 8 innings pitched. I don't know if that is this. Oh, yeah, that's this playoffs. But He is a left-handed pitcher going up against Nate Elliott. Nate Elliott pops out to the right fielder. But not without getting that solo homer, extending the lead 2-0 over Galveston to the bottom of the 6th inning. Brings up Isaac Winfield. Hits one out to the left fielder for the first out. Next up is Jeff Brown. He also pops out to the left fielder. Jason Gartz. Check swing, strike 3. Willer's still in there, but against Jesse Davies. Ball 4. Pacheco. Steal. Stole second. Wow. Pacheco's still up. Takes ball 4. Bring up Juan Santiago. Takes ball 4. Bases loaded with nobody out. Liller's still in there against Park. Park hits one up to center field. Multiple runs are going to score, I'm assuming. Looks like 2. Extending the lead 4-0. Next up, Danny Marshburn. He strikes out swinging. Next up, Dan Davis. Hits one up to the second baseman for a double play, ending the inning. I think. Yes, ending the inning. Put a nice stop to that. That could have been a lot more dangerous. To the bottom of the 7th we go. Jim Wyant is up. Wyant hits one out to deep center, but Davis is there. Russell Stanley. Gets beamed. Juan Juarez. Gets one to center for the out. Solorzano. Hits one out to the left fielder for the 3rd out. To the top of the 8th inning. Leading off for the Rivermen is Jared Gilbert. Takes ball 4. Willer's still in there. Victor Nito. Strikes out. Now we got a change in pitchers. We got Ahmed Pollard in with Nate Elliott up. Davies. Drops one out in the left field. 2 on, first and second. It's Juan Pacheco up. Juan Pacheco hits one. Is it deep? Is it gone? It is gone. That is a 3-run home run for Juan Pacheco. Louisville takes a 7-0 lead.
Blowing the game wide open.
Blowing it open. Next up is Mike Lynn. Looks like he's a pinch hitter. Haven't said that name yet. Oh, diving for center fielder makes the catch. Got some web gems in this game. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Rob Squires. And after getting hurt from earlier, Alvaro Robles is a new pitcher for the Rivermen. Hits it to third base. And he's out. Anderson. It's one second baseman, and he is out. Isaac Winfield. He's going to drop one into shallow center for a 2-out single. Jeff Brown. Strikes out. To the top of the 9th. We got Park leading in things off. And he strikes out. Danny Marshburn. And he grounds out to first. Dan Davis strikes out. So Galveston down to their last 3 outs to game 2. Score 7. Jason Gartz grounds one to the shortstop, and he is out. Jim Wyant. Drops one down. Russell Stanley hits one to the pitcher. He's going to get advance hits, a fielder's choice.
Looks like Victor Nieto is injured on the play again, so let's see. It's not serious. He can remain in the game, but that's a second injury for him now.
It's the same with Rob Squires for Galveston. He stayed in as well. And he's going to fly out to the right fielder, and Louisville's going to take game 2, 7-0.
So, after 2 games, we're tied 1-1. Heading into game 3. Louisville not going to lay down like some Fire Conference teams of the past.
All right.
Looks like we've got Eric Ryan going against Brad Flores in this game. Definitely a pitching advantage to the Gremlins on this one. Eric Ryan's had an amazing season and a fantastic postseason as well. Brad Flores looks like he's kind of a spot starter, so we'll see how he can do to help the Louisville Rivermen hang into this game.
Let's see if it looks like Rob Squires lost his injury, so he's good to go.
I'll let you lead off with the call here too. I'm almost back, but just finishing up my task here.
Sounds good. We'll get things started here. So Brad Flores is pitching. We got Mike Anderson leading things off for Galveston. And a ground on out to the first baseman. Brings up Isaac Winfield. Jason Garretts. He walks. Bringing up Jeff Brown. Popping up. The third and final out for the first half of this inning. Leading off for Louisville is Jesse Davies. Bloops one to the pitcher for the first out. Juan Pacheco. Hit a bomb yesterday. Sealed the deal for Louisville, but he strikes out here. Bringing up Juan Santiago. Hits one to the second baseman for the third and final out. After one, nothing. Bringing up Jim Wyatt, leading off for Galveston.
Jim Wyatt's been on fire this postseason, hitting over 400, but he strikes out here.
Russell Stanley. Takes ball 4.
The only way Russell Stanley can get on base.
Rob Squires. Dribbles one. Oh, for the double play. Lots of double plays in this series, I've noticed. Park is up. And he strikes out, bringing up Danny Marshburn. Gets beamed. Kind of gave a weird angle. I thought it gave me the option to fight. Bringing up Dan Davis. He flies out to the left fielder for the second out, bringing up Jared Gilbert. Oh, he caught him napping in the first. Wow, look, he threw back and caught him at first for the pickoff move to end the second inning. We'll lead things off with Galveston with Juan Juarez. Strikes out. Solorzano. Strikes out. Mike Anderson. Hits it to short to the first baseman. Retires aside. 2.5 to the bottom of the third. Jared Gilbert. It's one to the third baseman. And he is out. Victor Nito. Checks his swing. Strike 3. Nate Elliott. Davies. Wild pitch. Elliott is going to second base. Gonna hit down the third baseline for the third out.
No hits so far through 3 innings for both teams. Pretty crazy. Good pitching performances.
Yeah.
Brad Flores living up to his side of the deal.
And he's out.
What a play by the shortstop. That looked deep into short.
Bring up Jason Gartz. Flies in the foul territory. Jeff Brown. Strike 3. Juan Pacheco. Takes ball 4. Juan Santiago. Hits one deep. Has it got the distance? It does. 2-run bomb for Louisville. Juan Santiago. Louisville takes a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the 4th. Brings up Park. For ball 4. Danny Marshburn. Another double play. 2 out for Dan Davies, or Davis. He's going to hit one out in the center field. It's going to get down. Is he going to go for 2? He is. So for a 2-out double for Dan Davis. Bringing up Jared Gilbert. He's going to sneak one by. Is he going to go through and score a run? He is. So Jared Gilbert gets a 2-out single. An RBI. Victor Nito up. It's gonna ground out to the shortstop to end the inning. To the top of the 5th, we got Galveston. We have Jim Wyant. What was that? He reached. That was crazy. Bringing up Stanley. He's going to get a fielder's choice on that one. Rob Squires. Strikes out, 2 down. Juan Juarez. Grounds out to the 3rd. Ooh, gets by the first baseman. They're going to advance to 2nd and 3rd. That brings up Solarzano. And he's going to strike out looking. So that ends the inning. That was a dangerous inning there for Louisville. Galveston really threatening. Elliott to the plate. Striking out. Jesse Davies is up. He's going to take ball, or he's going to strike out. It's not a ball. Juan Pacheco. That's ball 4. Bringing up Santiago. I believe he hit a home run earlier, last inning, or 2. He also is going to take ball 4. Bringing up Park. And he strikes out, retiring the side. Bringing us to the top of the 6th inning. Mike Anderson up to the plate. Hits one to the third baseman, but he's out at first. Bringing up Isaac Winfield. He strikes out. Jason Gartz strikes out as well. 1, 2, 3. Danny Marshburn up to the plate. It's going to drop for a single. Dan Davis strikes out. Jared Gilbert. Gonna hit into a fielder's choice. Juan Juarez has been hurt. The trainer's going to examine him, see if he stays in the game. And that gets by the catcher. And he strikes out. Jeff Brown. Takes ball 4. Wyatt. It's one to center. And he's out. Russell Stanley. Another one to center field. Ooh, and it gets over him. Runners don't advance. I wasn't going to say anything, but that's the first hit of the game for Galveston. So that takes him out after he just gives up one hit, and they're like, you're out. Get out of here. But I understand. We got 1 out, 2 on, and Justin Ferguson's up pitching for the Rivermen. Left fielder's got it, but it looks like it's deep enough for them to score the first run of the game, making it 3-1. Galveston chipping away at that lead that Louisville has on them. Rafael Cervantes, looks like he's pinch hitting for the shortstop that got injured. Juarez, I think his name was.
He's the legend that had 2 pinch hit home runs against Atlanta.
Yeah, he is. And he drops another one down for another RBI.
Wow.
Pinch hit
What
RBI
a clutch
machine.
postseason. What a clutch postseason, huh?
Yeah. Solorzano. Drives one up the center. Got runners on first and third for Mike Anderson with 2 down. and he gets out of that inning. So Galveston went no hit all the way to the 7th inning. And next thing you know, they're holding on to a 1-run lead now as they go to the bottom of the 7th inning, holding on to 1 run. You got Nate Elliott up, and he strikes out. Looks like Gary Lillard's in the pitch. He really blew things up for Louisville yesterday. They really hammered on the runs when he came in. See if the tides change this time around. We got Jesse Davies up. And he's going to drop one out into deep, shallow right for a leadoff single, or a 1-out single. Juan Pacheco. It's going to take strike 3 for 2 down. Juan Santiago. It's going to strike out. That takes us to the top of the 8th inning, with Louisville leading 3-2. Ferguson still pitching up against Isaac Winfield. Winfield's going to drive one into the gap. Standing up for its second, looks like, for a leadoff double for Galveston. And here comes Galveston. Jason Gartz takes strike 3 for the first out. Jeff Brown drives one to left, and it drops. Is he going to score? He doesn't. He's at third base. We got a change in pitching right now with 1 out with runners on first and third. We got Louis Pagan, or I don't know. I'm going to go with Louis Pagan. Going against Travis Miller, pinch hitting. We got more pinch hitters here. He's going to hit one, and it's going to drop for a single, it looks like. And Galveston's going to tie this game up in the top of the 8th inning. 1 out, runners on first and second, bringing up Russell Stanley. Takes ball 4, loading the bases. Dan Dark hits one up into left field. Another runner is going to score, and Galveston's going to take the lead in the top of the 8th inning, scoring 2 runs. Offense coming late in this game. 4-3 Galveston. Rafael Cervantes, pinch hitting, 1,000 average this playoff. He is just scoring hits, getting RBIs. And he finally gets retired this postseason. But not without Galveston taking a 1-run lead in the top of the 8th inning. Gary Lillard still up on the mound against Park. Park is going to hit one to the center fielder for a routine pop fly. Dustin Lutz. He's a pinch hitter. Grounds to the shortstop for the 2nd out. David Walter, another pinch hitter. He's going to pop one up into the shallow infield. That'll retire the side to the top of the 9th. We're going to new pitcher Dave Burke for Louisville going against Domingo Solorzano, the catcher. And he's going to drive one into right field for a leadoff single. So they're looking to drive more insurance runs in here to really take off with game 3 here. He strikes out. Anderson. Next up is Winfield. And he strikes out as well for, that's 2 down. Jason Gartz. He strikes out. So we head to the top of the, or bottom of the 9th inning. These are the last 3 outs for Louisville for this game 3. This is a decider, really, who makes next to somebody tied up. So Jared Gilbert up. He drives one past the shortstop and between the shortstop and third baseman for a leadoff single. Bringing up Victor Nito. He's going to drop down a bunt and advance that runner to second base to try and get that runner into scoring position. Bringing up Nate Elliott. And he drives one. Is it gone? It is gone. This is a bottom of the 9th, 2-run homer, bringing that to a Louisville, making a 5-4 game. Dramatics with a walk-off homer for Nate Elliott, Mr. 30 contact. What a game. Crazy. Cannot believe that. Right to the end.
That is crazy. Of all the guys to do it, right?
Of all the guys to do it, Nate Elliott hits one right to left field. Louisville takes a 2-game lead, or 2-game lead on the series, 2-1.
On to game 4 we go. And that could definitely be huge as we continue on here. So we've got another good pitching matchup here as we go into game 4. Miguel Lugo is going to be facing off against Eric Pierce. Both these guys have pitched pretty well here this postseason.
Yeah, it'll be very, very interesting game 3, or game 4 here. Start it off here.
Yeah, I'll call this game. All right, leading things off, Rob Squires facing Eric Pierce, top of the first. Galveston trying to even the series back up. Louisville with a 2-1 series lead at the moment. And Squires strikes out on a 2-2 pitch, 1 down. Next up, Mike Anderson. Mike Anderson hits it to the center fielder, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. So 1-out base hit for the Gremlins. Going to bring up Isaac Winfield. Isaac Winfield.
Oh, that was interesting. Is that like a pitch in the dirt?
Yeah, I think so. Just a wild pitch. And Winfield grounds out to the shortstop. It's going to be a double play. That's going to retire the side. So after half inning, Galveston nothing. Louisville coming up. Jesse Davies leading things off against Miguel Lugo. All 4 in a full count. Juan Pacheco at the plate. Pacheco lines to center field, 1 down. Next up, Juan Santiago. Thiago grounding to the pitcher. He flips to the second baseman, gets the lead runner, 2 down. Park at the plate. And he lines it to the center fielder, and that's going to retire the side after 1-0-0 going to the second. Jeff Brown leading things off. Dribbler to the shortstop, 1 down. We'll bring up Jason Gartz. High pop up in the infield, 2 down for Jim Wyant. Jim Wyant crushes this to the right field ball. That's going to be extra bases. He's in with a double. That is going to bring up Russell Stanley. Stanley strikes out looking after 1.5, 0-0. Marshburn leading it off against Lugo. And a 3-1 walk. Next up, Dan Davis. Base hit in the right field, so first and third now with nobody out. Louisville's threatening here to put the first runs on the board. Jared Gilbert at the plate, and he lines it to the right field, and it's going to drop in for a hit. It's going to score the first runs of the game. First and second now. And 1-0 Louisville. Nobody out. Victor Nieto at the plate. He strikes out looking, 1 down. Brings up Nate Elliott, the hero from Game 3. And he strikes out looking. So it brings us back to the top of the order with Jesse Davies. Davies strikes out, so Lugo strikes out the last 3 batters of the inning, and it's still 1-0 it's now 1-0 as we go to the top of the third. Juan Juarez at the plate. He is going to pop it up in the infield. 1 down. Solorzano at the plate. And he hits it up the middle for a base hit. 1 out, single for Galveston, and they're on the base paths for the top of the order. Squires leading things off, or hitting here with the leadoff spot. He hits it and it's going to drop, so that's a base hit. So first and second now with 1 down. Galveston threatening to get on the board. Mike Anderson up at the plate. And he strikes out looking. Isaac Winfield. He's going to hit this down the left field line. That's going to get down. That's going to score at least a run. So that ties the game 1-1. Now we have second and third with 2 outs here for Jeff Brown. Wild pitch. And here comes Winfield, or no, here comes Squires. Winfield goes to third, and that's going to give the Gremlins a 2-1 lead. Jeff Brown walks, so now first and third here for Jason Gartz.
Elliott needs to control that ball.
I think it's been both teams.
Yeah, I think
There's a
you're
walk.
right.
There's a walk. So base is loaded now, 2 down for Jim Wyatt, who's been red hot. Let's see what he can do. Strikes out swinging. So big out there for Eric Pierce. And not before Galveston gets 2 runs, though. So 2-1. Galveston leads going to the bottom of the third. Juan Pacheco is going to lead things off for the Rivermen. He walks. Ball 4. Next up, Santiago. Santiago crushes this one down the right field line. That is gone. 2-run home run for Juan Santiago, giving the Rivermen a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the third. Still nobody out, and that's going to bring up Park. All 4 to Park. Down to first he goes. Next up, Danny Marshburn. Marshburn crushes this one to center field. Is it good enough? It does. The second 2-run homer of the inning. And still nobody out. Louisville takes a 5-2 lead. Dan Davis up at the plate. Now facing Josh Clark in for Miguel Lugo. So Lugo really struggled. And a pop-up to the shortstop. So first out of the bottom of the third, on to Jared Gilbert. And he launches to the first baseman, 2 down. That brings up Victor Nieto. He's going to drop the base hit in front of the left fielder, so 2-out single for Nieto. Next up, Nate Elliott. And Nieto steals second, so in the scoring position for...
Everybody gets free tacos.
Oh, hey.
Go to your Taco Bell and say Phil Nieto stole. Everybody gets free tacos.
When I went up to Utah and we went to a Jazz game, we all got free Chick-fil-A. Or this guy missing 2 free throws.
Nice.
And that's a strikeout, so that's going to get out of the jam. But Louisville puts up a 4 spot and takes a 5-2 lead on Galveston going to the top of the 4th. Stanley leading things off. He strikes out. Next up is Juarez. And he strikes out, so Eric Pierce starting to deal here. That's going to bring up Solorzano. Pierce with 6 strikeouts through 3 2/3 innings. It's going to be a fly ball to the right fielder. So 1, 2, 3, go the Gremlins. On to the bottom of the 4th we go. Jesse Davies up to lead things off. Ball 4, it's going to bring up Juan Pacheco. Two on now, nobody out for Santiago. He grounds out to first, but the runners advance. That's going to put second and third with 1 out for Park. Park hits it up the middle. It's going to score at least 1. The other runner is going to be waved around. He's going to score. Nope, he was held at third. I'm missing things. First and third, 1 out for Danny Marshburn. And Marshburn's going to get a base hit, so that's going to bring in that run. Now it's got first and second, 7-2 Louisville. Continuing to score here. And Davis up at the plate, 1 for 2 on the game. He's going to pop it up in the infield. It's going to be the second out. about Jared Gilbert? 1 for 2 as well. He's going to line it down the right field line. That's going to get down. Is that going to score a run? Let's see. The throw comes in, and it's not going to be in time. So 8-2 is. Oh, they held again, man. I keep seeing things running across the screen. I swear, Chris. I swear. Bases loaded now. 7-2, 3-2 count. Okay. All right, and Louisville gets out, or Galveston gets out of the inning. So 7-2 as we go to the top of the fifth. Rob Squires leading thing off. Leadoff single for Squires. So up is Mike Anderson. Double play. 2 down. Isaac Winfield at the plate. Winfield's going to ground to the first baseman. He steps to the bag, and that's going to retire the side after 4.5. Louisville 7, Galveston 2. Full count, and he's going to walk. Or excuse me, a 3-0 count, and he's going to walk. Elliott down to first. He's going to bring off the lead, top of the order, Jason Davies.
Got a pitching change with Mario Cruz for Galveston.
Yeah, Cruz into the game. He's pitched pretty well this postseason. 8.1 innings pitched, just a 1.08 ERA. And he forces a flyout. 1 down. Next up, Juan Pacheco. Pacheco's going to strike out. That's going to bring up Santiago. 1 for 3 with a homer on the game right now. He's going to hit it to center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Runner's going to stay at second base. So 2 on, 2 down. That is going to bring up the Korean Kong Park. He flies it to the left fielder. That is going to retire the side. So after 5, Louisville 7, Galveston 2. Leading off the 6th, Jeff Brown facing Eric Pierce, who's still in there. 5 innings pitched, 80 pitches at the moment. He's going to walk Jeff Brown, so leadoff runners on for Galveston. That brings up Jason Gartz. And a steal by Jeff Brown. It's a couple steals this series. He's pretty quick. It's going to be a base hit. Gartz, so is that going to score? No, he's going to hold at third. So first and third, nobody out for Jim Wyant. Wyant's going to ground into the second baseman. It's going to be a double play. A run is going to score, but I don't think that's the way they wanted to do it. 7-3 as Galveston gets one more on the board. Russell Stanley up to hit. He's going to walk, so Juan Juarez at plate. Walk as well, so now 2-1 all of a sudden. Pierce struggling at 108 pitches now, so Solorzano's up at the plate. And he's going to hit it down the line. He's going to drive in at least 1, I think. Let's see, here's the throw in. Drives in 2, so 7-5. The Galveston Gremlins cut that lead in half, and they trail by 2 here in the top of the 6th with 2 down. That might be it for Eric Pierce.
It is.
Franklin Gonzalez now in relief. Gonzalez got lit up in game 1. That's the pitcher who got destroyed, I think.
He did. See if we can turn things around.
It's a little better here. He's facing Rob Squires with a man on second. And he walks the first man he faces. It's going to bring up Mike Anderson. Anderson base hit up the middle. Let's see if they send the runner. They do. He's going to score. 7-6. Galveston's creeping closer, so this game's not over yet. And now Isaac Winfield up at the plate with 2 on.
They've done this all with 2 outs as well.
Yeah, that's impressive. Winfield's going to fly out to the left fielder. It's going to finally end the inning, but Galveston comes up with 4 runs in the top of the 6th to pull this to a 7-6 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Louisville leading things off with Marshburn. Mario Cree is still in the game after pitching an inning in relief, successful inning in relief last inning. Ground out to the shortstop, so that's 1 down. Next up is Dan Davis. Davis is going to fly out to the center fielder, 2 down. And Jared Gilbert now at the plate, 2 for 3 on the day. He's going to strike out looking, so that's going to retire the side. 1, 2, 3, go the Rivermen. On to the top of the 7th we go. The Galveston Gremlins. Gremlins, Jeff Brown leading things off against Gonzalez, who's back in there. And he crushes it to center field, but center field is right there, so that's 1 down. Next up, Jason Gartz. Gartz crushes it to right field. Same thing though, right at the fielder, 2 down. That brings up Jim Wyant. Wyant hits it to the right fielder, lazy fly ball, but he's going to be there. So 1, 2, 3 go the Gremlins in the top of the 7th. 7-6 going to the bottom half of the inning. Victor Nieto in leading things off against Gary Liller, who's now in the game for the Gremlins. Nieto's going to strike out, looking. That brings up Nate Elliott. Elliott grounds out to the shortstop, 2 down. Jesse Davies up to hit. He's going to fly out to the center fielder, so that's at least 7 in a row retired by the Gremlins. And as we go to the top of the 8th, it is Louisville 7, Galveston 6. Russell Stanley leading things off against Dave Burke, pitching change. Dave Burke, I thought, was a starter at one point, so it looks like he's not afraid to come in relief here. I thought Dave Burke was in his starting rotation. I could be wrong. 1 down for Louisville. Galveston. Next up, Dan Dark, pinch hitting here. He's going to ground out to the first baseman, 2 down. That is going to bring us to Sol Lozano, the catcher. Sol Lozano is going to fly out to the center field. Oh, he makes a great catch, actually. And that's going to retire the side. So 1, 2, 3, go the Gremlins. Pitching starting to pick it up here on both sides as that's 12 in a row retired. Juan Pacheco up against Ahmad Pollard coming into the game for the Gremlins. Strike 3. It's going to bring up Mike Lynn in a pinch hit. Well, he's in the game, maybe a defensive sub. And he is going to line out. 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Park. Park's going to ground out to the second baseman. 1, 2, 3, go the Rivermen again. On to the top of the 9th we go. Galveston's last chance here. 3 outs remaining. Rob Squire's going to lead it off against Dave Burke, who's still in the game. And that's strike 3. Next up, Mike Anderson. Anderson's going to ground out to the first baseman. 2 down. Isaac Winfield, last opportunity for the Gremlins here. grounder to the shortstop over to first, and that's going to end the game. So Louisville takes a commanding 3-1 series lead through four. It's had some close games, but so far Louisville has had the best of this series. And we'll see what happens as we resume here. We'll check in with our general managers if we want to continue or if we need to file, and then we'll move on. So, yeah.
All right, I'll pause this for a second. So yeah, we're gonna continue on here. We're just gonna take a quick 5-minute break.
All right, we're going to go on to game 5 here after back-to-back 7-0 victories, one for Louisville and one for Galveston. We had 2 one-run games in games 3 and 4, but both went to the Rivermen. So a 3-1 series lead as we go to game 5. And looking at the pitching matchups here for game 5, probably going to be a repeat of game 1. I assume that's usually how it plays out, doesn't it? Edwin Rodriguez, yeah, so he had a brilliant game 1. He went 8 in the third. He's going to be facing off against Jordan Adame, who also, he pitched okay, I think, for a minute, and then it got away from the Rivermen there in that first game. So here we go with game 5. I don't know if you've. All right. All right, Rob Squires leading things off against Adame. We know all the players involved at this point. We'll see what happens and if the Gremlins can mount a comeback. Our league has seen a bunch of 3-1 series leads evaporate, so it's not insurmountable to think that Galveston could do so. But we'll see. Louisville has been red hot, and this might be the year for the Fire Conference. Mike Anderson up next. He's going to be trying to get a hit off Adame here. 26 hits here in the postseason for Anderson. He's been pretty good. And there's another one. He's going to line it down the line, so a double for Anderson, and that's going to be a 1-out double for the Gremlins. Isaac Winfield. He's going to strike out, so that's 2 down. Adame with a big strikeout there, having a runner in scoring position now of Jeff Brown. Jeff Brown grounds to the third baseman. That's going to retire the side. So after a half inning, Galveston 0, Louisville coming up. Ball 4, leadoff walk for the Rivermen. So Jesse Davies gets things started. Juan Pacheco up against Edwin Rodriguez. That's going to be a grind to the shortstop. It's going to be a quick double play. So runner's gone, 2 down. Santiago at the plate. That is ball 4. So second walk of the inning issued by Rodriguez. That's going to bring up Park. Another grounder to the shortstop. It's going to retire the side after 1, 0-0. Jason Gartz facing Adame here in the second. He strikes out swinging. It's going to bring up Jim Wyant. It's going to ground down the third baseline, but the third baseman's going to play it and throw it first. 2 down. Russell Stanley at the plate. Stanley launches this one to the left field, and that's going to go over the left fielder's head. There's going to be extra bases. That is a double for Russell Stanley. So he, giving the Galveston Gremlins life here in the second, it's going to bring up the 8-hitter, Juan Juarez. Juarez is going to take ball 4. First and second with 2 down for Solorzano. And he hits it through the right field side. Are they going to send the runner? They are. Let's see. Play at the plate. It's going to be safe. 1-0 Galveston on the base hit by Solorzano. Rob Squires back to the top of the order. He's going to hit to the shortstop. That's going to end the inning as he flips to second base, but Galveston gets a run after 1.5. Galveston 1, Louisville nothing. Danny Marshburn up. It's Edwin Rodriguez, who had a pretty clean first inning. Well, a couple walks, actually. Now he hits a guy. So it's actually been a little wild here. Next up, we have somebody.
I like what it said up there. It said it went up into the kitchen and went all the way up into the pantry.
Dan Davis up. He's going to lay down a sacrifice. It's going to move Marshburn to second. So man on second with 1 out. Jared Gilbert trying to tie this game up with a big hit here. Let's see. He's going to strike out swinging. It's going to bring up Victor Nieto. Nieto's going to fly to center field, and that's going to end the inning. After 2, Galveston 1, Louisville nothing. Mike Anderson leading things off for the Gremlins. He doubled his first time up, and he hits that one deep to center field, but it's going to be right at the center fielder. It's going to be playable. 1 down. Isaac Winfield up. Winfield grounds out to the first base. No, he drops the ball. It's going to be an error by the first baseman. So a 1-out error, and that's going to give the Gremlins a base runner here for Jeff Brown. He strikes out swinging. Except Jason Gartz. Gartz grounds out to the second baseman. It's going to retire the side, so the error doesn't hurt after 2.5. Galveston 1, Louisville nothing. Nate Elliott leading off for the Rivermen here in the bottom of the 3rd. He swings and misses. That's going to bring up the top of the order now for the Rivermen and Jesse Davies. And he lines it into the gap. It's going to be extra bases, so I think it's Jess Davies. I'm going to go with Jess. Felony. I think it's Jesse. What do you think? I don't know. Davies on second base. Next up for Juan Pacheco. Pacheco flies it to center. Let's see if he can tag. He can't. It's too short, so too shallow. 2 down for Juan Santiago. Santiago lines it through the right field. Let's see if the right fielder has a play at the plate. Oh, he's going to hold him at third. So, first and third now as we have Korean Kong coming to the plate. And he strikes out swinging. So, big strikeout there for the Gremlins after 3, 1-0 Galveston. Jim Wyatt leading things off in the top of the 4th. And Wyatt is going to take ball 4 on a check swing. Next up, Russell Stanley. Double last time up. He's going to strike out this time, 1 down. He's going to bring up Juan Juarez. Juan Juarez is going to lay down a little dribbler, but he's going to get the lead runner at second on the force. The catcher is, so that is 2 down, and that's going to be Solorzano at plate. Solorzano, oh no. Stealing second is the base runner, and he's going to be out by a mile. That's going to end the inning. So after 3.5, 1-0 Galveston, here comes Louisville. Danny Marshburn up against Rodriguez, who's pitched well so far. He's up Davis for strike 3. Davis grinds out to the second baseman. 2 down. Jared Gilbert at the plate. Gilbert hit by the pitch.
Looks like they're going to go and charge him every single time.
Victor Nieto crushes this one in the gap. A diving play by the right fielder. That is going to end the inning. Jason Gartz makes a great catch. And it remains 1-0 after 4, so on to the top of the 5th we go. Solorzano at the plate. It's Adame here. He's going to strike out. Okay, 1 down. That's Rob Squires. Squires grounds to the shortstop. 2 down. Bringing up Mike Anderson. Mike Anderson strikes out swinging. So 1, 2, 3 go the Gremlins. Top of the 5th. On to the bottom of the 5th we go. They still lead 1-0. Nate Elliott's going to lead things off for the Rivermen. Elliott crushes this one, but a diving catch by the left fielder. So 1 down. Great play out there by Russell Stanley. Jesse Davies is up now. Davies hits it to the center fielder, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. So a 1-out base hit for the Rivermen. Juan Pacheco at the plate, 0 for 2 on the game today. Davies stealing second, so he's on second. He gets in there safe. Pacheco now a chance to drive in a run. 1 out. But he strikes out swinging. It's going to bring up Santiago. And he strikes out as well, but is he going to get first? He's not. They're going to throw it down. That's going to end the inning. So after 5, Galveston 1, Louisville 0. Isaac Winfield leading things off against Adame, who's at 81 pitches through 5. Base hit for Winfield down the line. That might be extra bases. We'll see. Nope, just a bloop single. And it's going to bring up Jeff Brown. 0 for 2 on the game. Winfield stealing second. He's in there safely. Jeff Brown's going to strike out. Going to bring up Jason Gartz now with an opportunity. And Winfield steals third, and he's safe. So he is not afraid to go. Now, all of a sudden, runners and score on third base with just 1 out. But Jason Gartz strikes out looking. So Adame dealing at the right time. 8 strikeouts on the game for Adame. It's going to bring up Jim Wyatt. Jim Wyatt grounds through the middle. That's going to be a base hit. And that's going to score a run. Galveston 2, Louisville 0. Jim Wyatt is having an MVP series here on the losing end, unfortunately. And that is going to be a deep drive by Stanley. And that's his second double of the game. That's going to score a run. So now we've got runners on, or it's not going to score a run, but it's going to move Wyatt to third. So second and third. 2 down for Juan Juarez, but he strikes out swinging to end the threat. So just the 1 run for Galveston, but that extends the lead from 1 to 2, 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Louisville leading things off with Sun Hyung Park. Park mashes this one to left field. That's going to be out of here. It's going to give Louisville their first run of the game. 2-1. They cut that lead in half quickly. 8th home run of the postseason for Park. Pretty impressive. Danny Marshburn's going to follow things here and see what he can do against Edwin Rodriguez. And I believe that was the first run in 13-plus innings against Edwin Rodriguez that the Rivermen have scored. So Marshburn flies out. Davis is up now. I think they won 7-0 the first game. He won by 8 in the third. All right, that's a base hit. So 1 on, 1 out for the Rivermen. Maybe not done yet. Mike Lynn's in there to pinch hit.
We got a pinch or relief pitcher in as well.
Oh yeah, thank you, Mario Cruz in there. He's been lights out for the Gremlins in this postseason. 10.1 innings pitched, .87 ERA. Let's see if he can shut down this rally by the Rivermen. Mike Lynn flies it to center field, so he is going to get the first guy, but there's one more out remaining here in the bottom half for the sixth. Next up, Victor Nieto. Nieto hits it to the gap. It's going to drop. Runner stays at second. So first and second now with two down for Nate Elliott. Let's see if he can get a big hit here. He's going to strike out. That's going to be the end of the inning. So Louisville Rivermen get one back after 6. Galveston 2, Louisville 1, going to the top of the 7th. Solorzano leading things off against Adame, still in there. Strike 3. 10th strikeout of the game for Adame, and that's going to be it for him as Justin Ferguson comes in relief, facing Rob Squires. So quite the performance by Jordan Adame here in Game 5. And the first batter this relief pitcher faces, and it's a home run. So
no, he got it. It was a catch.
Did he get it? Man, dude.
Oh,
I got all excited there. So Rob Squires sends it, but can't get it over the fence. And Ferguson sweats one, but he's still in there. Now he strikes out Mike Anderson. So
good job,
fire
Ferguson.
put out. Faked out the announcers up in the booth on that one. On to the bottom of the 7th, 2-1 Galveston over Louisville. Jesse Davies leading things off. Mario Cruz still in there and still dealing. So ball 4 to start the 7th, though. So let's see if Louisville has something going here. Juan Pacheco at the plate. Ahmad Pollard in for the Gremlins. So a pitching change. Full count, nowhere to put it. Well, not nowhere to put him. Full count. And he strikes out, but he steals second at the same time. So the runner moves up a base, one down for Juan Santiago. Santiago grounds out to the shortstop. 2 down. Runner can't advance. Gonna bring up Park. The solo home run earlier. Yep. He's going to strike out here, so that's going to end the inning. After 7, Galveston 2, Louisville 1. Isaac Winfield at the plate facing Justin Ferguson. Winfield pops it up in the infield. That's going to be out number 1 for the Gremlins. Jeff Brown now at the plate. 0 for 3 on the game. He's going to take ball 4, so 1 out. Base runner for Galveston, and here's Jason Gartz. Jason Gartz hits it deep, hits it far. That is so gone. And that is a 4-2 lead for Galveston here in the 8th, extending their lead 427 feet. Never in question. Galveston try to stay alive here in Game 5, and so far doing so. And that brings up Jim Wyatt. Galveston can get the win here. We're going back to Galveston as Game 6 and 7 are back at home for them. And there's going to be a deep drive to left field, but the left fielder's there, and that's going to retire to the side. So 2 runs for the Gremlins. 4-1 over the Rivermen as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Marshburn's going to lead things off against Raymond Dumas into the game. 6.2 innings pitched this postseason with a 2.7 ERA and 8 strikeouts. Dumas is going to give up a single to Marshburn on the first at bat of his championship series. He's going to bring up Dan Davis. Dan Davis is going to get a base hit. So Louisville, 2 runners on here quickly in response with nobody out, and that's going to bring up David Walter here, the shortstop. Looks like he might be pinch hitting, or it maybe came in as a defensive replacement for Somebody.
Yeah, I think he was a pinch hitter, defensive replacement.
He's going to ground out to the first baseman, but that advances both runners. So now we've got second and third with just one out, and Victor Nieto at the plate. Victor Nieto's going to hit it to the left fielder. It's going to drop in. Base hit. It's going to score one. The other runner's going to hold at third. So first and third, but 4-2. Louisville gets one back, and there's still one out for Dustin Lutz, who's coming in a pinch hit opportunity here.
Oh.
And picked off first. Oh my goodness. At this point in the bottom of the eighth, that is so brutal to have to watch that. Out of the park. I'm going to call that out of the park. He grinds out. So that's going to end the inning and end the rally. Man, that's a killer pickoff first. Dan Dark's going to lead things off against Justin Ferguson. He's going to take ball 4. Next up, Solorzano.
Pitching change with Luis Pagan.
Pagan's into the game. Pagan's going to... I guess he just bunted there.
They fouled off a bunt.
All right, and he's going to ground out into a double play. No, just force out a second, so one out. So that's going to bring up Rob Squires. Rob Squires is going to line it into the right field. First and third as the runner goes from first to third. And one out here as Mike Anderson steps into the box. He's going to ground out to the second baseman. They're just going to get out of first, and a run's going to score. So little insurance for Galveston as they lead 5-2. Isaac Winfield now at the plate with 2 down and a man on second. Winfield's going to hit it down the right field line, and that's going to score another run. So Galveston will be up 6-2 here. And Winfield in there with a double, bringing up Jeff Brown here. Jeff Brown's going to pop out to the right fielder. That's going to retire the side. But 2 more runs for Galveston, scoring late, as has been their MO for the entire postseason. That's going to bring up Jeff Davies. Strike 3, 1 out. Next up, Juan Pacheco. 2 outs remaining for Louisville here. That's another strikeout. So Pollard is dealing here in the 9th. Next up, Juan Santiago. He's going to ground out to the second baseman. That is going to end the game, so Galveston stays alive in this series. Louisville leads 3-2, but we have a game 6 as we go back to Galveston. In Louisville, they've been a good road team, but they're going to need to win a road game to close this series out. Meanwhile, Galveston's been a great home team, and they're going to need to win back-to-back still to win this series, as they've taken one step in that direction. So we'll see how we do in game 6, and if necessary, we will finish up with game 7, but we are going to crown a champion tonight. So
Saving.
yeah, I was going to ask you if you saved before the last one, and then I didn't want to jinx it.
All right, we got Brandon Geary going against Neil Hunt. Let's get game 6 rolling. We got leading off Jesse Davies. Takes ball 1, or ball 4. Juan Pacheco walks as well. 2 on, nobody out for Santiago. Strikes out for the first. That one down. Hark is up. Goes down swinging as well. 2 down. 2 down, 2 on for Marshburn. He strikes out. So we get 2 walks, and then we follow up with 3 strikeouts. So Neil Hunt getting it done. Geary is going to be facing off against Rob Squires. He's going to strike him out. Anderson hits it to the second baseman, and he is out. Isaac Winfield hits it to the first baseman and gets him. So 1, 2, 3. Go the Gremlins. Louisville up to the plate. Dan Davis. Is he going to drop? Oh, Squires reaches out and robs him of a base hit. Jared Gilbert. Pops up to the second baseman. Phil Nita. Pops out. 1, 2, 3 goes Louisville. Jeff Brown. Pops out to the center fielder. Bringing up Jason Gartz. Pops out to the left fielder. Jim Wyatt. Pops it out in the foul territory. 1, 2, 3. Down goes the Gremlins. Nate Elliott. Drive one to the left fielder. To the top of the order with Jesse Davies. He strikes out. Juan Pacheco. And he takes ball 4 for his second walk of the game. Juan Santiago. Strikes out. So Louisville gets one on, but leaves him stranded. Russell Stanley. He's going to smash one out to left field, and it's gone for a solo homer. So Stanley is starting to turn it up late. These late championship series matchups here. Galveston takes a 1-0 lead. Juan Juarez. He pops it up to center field for the first out. Solorzano hits one to the right fielder, and it drops in for a 1-out single. Rob Squires drops a bunt down and does not get the leadoff guy to go forward. So Squires hits it into a fielder's choice. Next up to the plate is Mike Anderson. Squires is running, and he is safe. Gets a steal. Anderson somehow gets a hit out of that. Isaac Winfield. Pops it up for the third out. Galveston gets one from the Solar homer. Park is up. Hits one out to left field, and it drops for a lead-off base hit single. He's going to steal, and looks like he is safe. Marshburn. Strikes out. Davis. Hits one out. Is it deep enough? Does it drop? I think it did. I don't know what's going on. It is. It was a homer. I had no idea what went on there. So Louisville takes a 2-1 lead on that home run right there. And they lead off with a 1-out hit out the lead double. So Louisville's pouring it on right now.
First homer of the postseason for Dan Davis. So right down the line, it looked like.
Yeah, that was crazy. I couldn't tell what happened the whole entire time. Victor Nito up. Gets the second out. Nate Elliott. Grounds out to the shortstop. Louisville gets the damage done, takes the 2-1 lead. At the top of the fourth. To the bottom of the fourth, we got Jeff Brown up for Galveston. And he cracks one out, and it is gone. He ties the game back up, 2-2. Jeff Brown. Next up to the plate is Jason Gartz. He hits it to the second baseman for the first out. Jim Wyatt. Struck out. Russell Stanley. It's a home run earlier in this game. Gets a second hit. Drops one under the center field. Juan Juarez. Oh, wild pitch. Runner's going to advance. Gonna hit it up to the shortstop for the final out. Not without Galveston tying this game back up with a solo homer. Jesse Davies. Hits one out down, hits the center field wall. Gets a leadoff double. Juan Pacheco. Hits one into shallow center for the first out. Juan Santiago. He's going to strike out. Is he going to reach? He is not. Park. Strikes out as well. Galveston gets out of a jam there, out of a leadoff double. Ran up Solorzano. Out number one. Rob Squires. He walks. So he gets out at first, but Squires advances. Bringing up Isaac Winfield. He strikes out, ending the inning. After 5, 2-2, tied ball game. Danny Marshburn up for Louisville. Hits one right to the left fielder, Dan Davies, or Davis. This one down the first baseline, but he's out. Jared Gilbert. Hits it to shallow center. The shortstop grabs it. To the bottom of the 6th, Jeff Brown. And he gets retired. Jason Gartz. Hits it to the right fielder, and he grabs it. Jim Wyatt. Strikes out. 1, 2, 3 goes Galveston. Victor Nito.
Looks like Gary Lillard's in the game to pitch.
Ooh, didn't notice that. Gary Liller going against Nate Elliott. He strikes out. Jesse Davies. Hits it into a fielder's choice. Juan Pacheco to the plate. And he walks. We got runners in first and second. Juan Santiago. And he strikes out. To the bottom of the 7th. Still have a tie ball game. Russell Stanley. He's been hot lately. And he pops it up to the shortstop. Juan Juarez. Dumps it past the third baseman. Bet it's going to be a double. Stand-up double. Solorzano. Flies out to the right fielder for the second out. Dan Dark. Grounds the second baseman for the third and final out of the 7th inning. Still a tie ball game to the top of the 8th. Park is up. He drives one past the third baseman for first base. He get a stand-up double. He does. Leadoff double. Bringing in Dustin Lutz. He's pitch hitting. He's going to take ball 4. Runners on first and second, nobody out. We got David Walter, who is also pinch hitting. Misses the bunt. And he strikes out. Bringing in Jared Gilbert. Stretches out. And gets the lead runner, but both runners advance to second and third. Bringing in Victor Nito to the plate. 2 down. Nito drops one, and runners are going to score. It looks like a double. 2-run score for Louisville. Louisville takes a 4-2 lead in the top of the 8th inning. What a timing for that hit from Victor Nito.
That is huge right there.
Nate Elliott to the plate. And he drives one up to the shortstop for the third and final out. Well, Louisville got the damage done, getting 2 runs off of Phil Nito, or Victor Nito double. To the bottom of the 8th, we have Mike Anderson. We still have Brandon Geary pitching. How many pitches does he have? 92 pitches. So we'll see how far he goes into the 8th inning. Gets one to the second baseman, and he is out. Looks like Jared Gilbert was injured on the play. Trainers are examining him. And they have to take him out of the ball game. So they have a new shortstop in the game here with Lynn. Geary's still up at the plate with 95 pitches. Isaac Winfield. Hits it to the third baseman for the second out. Geary's still in for Jeff Brown. Hits it to the shortstop and gets that third and final out. So Geary getting through 8 innings So Galveston down to their final 3 outs. Really, so Louisville's still got the hit, so they still got to get some insurance runs here for Davies going up against Isaiah Alexander. He swings and misses for strike for out number 1. Juan Pacheco. He's going to fly out to the second baseman, bringing up Juan Santiago. Just didn't realize it. We've been saying 2 Juans 2 times in a row. Juan hits one deep. Is it out? It is gone for their solo homer, making it a 5-2 game. So they extended their run lead for Park. Is up on the plate next. Making this tough for Galveston to come back from. Park hits one out to right field. They're booing there in Galveston. You can hear it. Next up, Dustin Lutz. Lutz hits one, so another run's going to score, making it 6-2. Up to the plate next is David Walter. He's going to hit one in foul territory for the third and final out. But Louisville adds 2 more insurance runs, making it a 6-2 for Galveston, leaving them their final 3 outs of this championship series. So, see, they still got Brandon Geary still out there. 108 pitches. They want him to finish this game out. He's workhorse in it. Jason Gartz to the plate. And he smashes one, and it's gone. So I think it was a mistake keeping Geary out there. He should have got those final 3 outs, but they chipped that lead down to 6-3. Now they're going to replace Geary with Burke. Up to the plate is Jim Wyant. He's going to strike out for the first out. Next up is Russell Stanley. He's going to drop it down to the third baseman for the second out. Galveston down to their final out. David Burke pitching to Tyler Johnson, who's pinch hitting. See if he can come up with some late magic here to keep him alive. He gets beamed. He gets beamed, so Solorzano, let's see if he can make the magic continue. And he pops up. And the first baseman catches it, and that is a ball game, and that is a series. Louisville wins the championship. It's going to be the first time a Fire Conference person or team has won the championship. So congratulations, Chuck, on winning the Big League championship.
Congratulations. Great run, right?
Very great run.
Let's see who the series MVP was. Jared Gilbert. Oh, no, he was injured. Never mind.
The series MVP and third baseman, Seung-Young Park.
Hey. The Korean Kong wins a championship series MVP.
Well, congratulations to Galveston to making it to the big dance, but falling short. But congratulations, Chuck, with Louisville to a great run, playoff run. Wild card team taking on big teams and their big matchups and winning them both, because beating both San Diego and Huron and Spokane for it. You know, what the hell? Throw my name in the hat there. So
Yeah, both of our teams came from the wild card round this year, and both of them we played into 6 games. So just some great playoff baseball this year. Now we get some days off, and everybody can think about 2007 and what they want to do here moving forward. So congratulations, Chuck, again, and Chris. Thank you as always for spending so much time streaming and making this a cool experience.
absolutely, do what I can. All right, fellas, it was great doing this, and we will get this file dropped shortly and take some time off and reflect on things and figure out how to get into winning ways.